I mean, we look at it as our children. Children. The truth is, the world is the way it is. It's going to happen the way it happens. There is nothing that you can do about it other than manipulate where you are in it. Okay, and how you choose to receive it. It's like, and I say this one to my wife all the time. She came into my life. She had 2 cats, right? And the truth is, I've never been a real big animal person. I'm not, I like them. I think they're great. But I've never wanted to have them because they're a responsibility that I never had desired. She came into my life with 2 cats. And I said, okay, she comes with 2 cats. And so, therefore, the cats are here. And so, therefore, that's what I work on loving. And caring about, and caring for, and buying food, and changing the kitty litter.
And they think he's great.
And they think I'm great, apparently. But they're cats, okay? When they came into my life, and when I needed to accept that they were here, I needed to accept that there was going to be fur in everything, okay? I needed to accept that they were going to be in my face, that they're going to jump up on things at inconvenient times. They're going to poop and barf and all of the wonderful things that cats do. Okay, they're going to make my couch look like crap. It's the way that cats are. But I'm not, I get mad at them sometimes because I'm concentrating on something and they jump in my way and I'm not expecting it and it scares me or whatever, right? And then I'll go, "Urgh," and then I'll apologize to them because it's just because I'm concentrating too much or because I have an expectation that they shouldn't be there. Again, they're cats. That's what they do. I don't understand people getting ticked off at cats. If you don't want a cat, don't buy one, right? Don't get one. I got one for my little daughter, but I'm ticked off that I had to get one for... Don't get one for your daughter then, right? As much as you love your daughter, if it's going to tick you off and make you miserable, which is going to make you miserable at her, I'd really take a look at that. Again, most people don't think like that, but, literally, it's if you got a cat, then you do that. Same thing with kids. Kids are going to be kids. They're going to push buttons. They're going to push their boundaries. They're going to do all of those things. And it's nothing against you. The thing is we all take it against us, and we all have this expectation that these little bundles of joy should be little bundles of joy forever. Right? Which, of course, doesn't happen. They're really good reflectors. They reflect everything back at you. So how do we stop expecting these things from the kids and start teaching these things to the kids? The expectation creates the anger. So how are we going to stop creating the anger? In ourselves. One, take an anger management course. Really? That would, I personally think should be mandatory for people going through school, high school. Anger management course should be mandatory. Because nobody understands how to deal with their anger. One, they don't even know where it comes from. They really don't understand that once they create an expectation, now they've set themselves up for disappointment and anger, right? Once they create a world that they think should be this, right? It's sort of like, there's lots of people talking about religions and all of that stuff. Everybody has a religion, and if we look at it like a religion or a philosophy, we look at it like it's a box, right? And in this box you have 4 walls and a top, right? And if you cannot move past your box, then the walls are your expectations of what should be or what should be happening, right? Anything outside those expectations that pops in creates anger, defensiveness, all of that stuff. So there is no open mind generally to philosophies, whether it's religion or even any kind of rigid philosophy, and there's nothing wrong with that. People can live like that, and people live like that every day. But it creates an environment that's anger rich. Same thing with, we look at our kids, we think that, we've got to be disciplinarians and all of that stuff. Again, we're vomiting back up what our parents taught us, really. They got mad because emotionally they're 6. And nothing against emotional 6-year-olds. I mean, we have a lot of them here, because nobody really wants to take personal responsibility. Nobody, it's not nobody, but the majority of people don't, because they were never taught to. Their parents never taught them to. When we start understanding that we are placing way too much high expectation, and when I talk about expectation, I'm talking about emotional ties to your expectation. You can have an expectation of somebody or something to be able to, it's like, if I plant this seed, I have an expectation that it will grow into a plant. Okay? Now, the truth is, it requires water and sunlight in certain degrees and temperatures, but if you plant that seed at the wrong time, if you plant that seed in the middle of winter, and no matter how much you water it, it doesn't come up, and it doesn't come up, now you're pissed because you were going to have tomatoes this year, right? Or whatever. But that's an emotional expectation. Instead of saying, oh, the plant didn't work, I wonder why that happened. Because there's no emotional expectation. Your expectation was that it should do this, but it didn't, so you figure out why it didn't. As opposed to going, dang plant, it should have, I can't believe it, there must be something wrong with me. Whatever. The same thing can be said about talking to kids and the anger that happens around that. They're kids. They're going to be kids. They're going to push their boundaries. They're going to do all of the things that kids do. Not only that, before you ever get involved in getting a kid, you should understand what's involved. What's involved is a lot of time and a lot of energy. And if we can take the anger out of that equation, right? I'm not saying not having discipline, because people go, oh, well, then you can't have discipline. You can have discipline without anger. You can have discipline without the kid feeling small every time they do something that is, what we consider incorrect. It's like, if this happens, then you are going to have a consequence, right? It's not personal. It's not, I'm going to, got to slap you upside the head and make you feel bad about yourself, which is what we do. What anger does to other people is it makes them feel bad about themselves. They feel wrong. All of that stuff. We teach from an early age. So in the anger that we have, if we can put that aside, get our expectations aside, so that they're not emotional expectations, but we say, I expect you to do to do your chores today. And if you don't do your chores today, this is the consequence. You won't have your computer time, you won't have this, or you won't have that, right? And it becomes more of a transaction than something personal. But anyway, I mean, there's more that I can say about the anger, and you'll probably hear more video blogs on this from me. The more that I think about, but that's it for now. I mean, give me your responses. Get back to me so that we can discuss this further. That would be awesome. Thanks.